Hi, I'm John, and I'm excited to introduce you to Hindsight VIP. Let's dive into how our platform can transform your blockchain experience. As you know, traditional block explorers do present data in a text heavy format, and this makes it a little bit overwhelming for new users to navigate and understand what is going on the blockchain. And one way Hindsight changes this is by using intuitive visualization to present blockchain data in a way that is easy to understand. So let's explore some of the key features of Hindsight VIP. So for this demo, I'll be using a wallet address, I'll be using a transaction hash, and I'm going to be using a domain name. So without wasting too much of our time, I'm just going to copy this wallet address and I'm going to paste it on Hindsight. All I have to do is click on the launch app and I just paste the address. Then I click enter on my keyboard. And there you go. This is what our visualization page looks like. So we have three different sections on this page. We have this page that is kind of like an overview page of the wallet address you just searched. In this case, this address in gold indicates the address you just searched. So this is the overview. This is the amount of it in the wallet. This is the amount of ERC20 tokens in the wallet and the net worth of the individual basically. This section in the middle is the visualization plane where you have an idea of how tokens are being transferred. So now each rings, because we call them mindset rings, each rings in this page represents an address. So each of these rings represents an address, while this line represents a transaction. So if I click on any of this ring, you can see it shows you an address overview where it shows you what is happening in this address. And if I click on any of the line, it shows you transaction details. So basically, we are representing entities, we are representing addresses with shapes, and we are representing transactions with lines. Now, on the right hand side is the format you are a little bit used to, which is the tabular format. But in this case, this is simplified. What I mean by that, you only have the timestamp, you have who is sending the token, who is receiving the token, and how much token was transferred. So now, if I click on any of all these things, you can see that different arrows have been highlighted to show you what is going on the visualization page. So now, as you can see, for example, this particular address here, when I click on it, what you can see here is the amount of tokens that has been sent, the sender, the receiver, and the transaction hash. So now I can just copy this transaction hash and I can take it to Etherscan to so now I'm just going to paste this transaction hash on Etherscan so we see what it looks like. Now as you can see that this transaction occurred about 139 days ago and this is for 0.0.28, which is 79 side is showing you here that it occurred about 140 days ago and it's showing you 0.028. But now the difference between Hindsight and Etherscan is that you can see the amount of information you have to go through just to know what is going on. You have this, 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 and everything you have here, which is they are useful information, but for as a newcomer, you probably don't know what is up going on. I just want to see the sender, the receiver, and transaction hash, and this is what we mean by we have simplified the block explorer. So next we're going to visualize a transaction hash. So I'm just going to come here, I'm going to copy. Currently Hindsight supports just Ethereum and Solana, so I'm just going to come here and I'm going to paste. As you can see, it's a Solana transaction. So now when I search for this, so because I search for a transaction hash, you can see that only two rings is what is visible, meaning this ring, the main ring, sends tokens to this particular ring. Now this example is a little bit interesting because unlike the last example you saw, these rings have different sizes. And why is it so? So in Hindsight VIP, the size of a ring is dependent on the net worth of the individual. So if you see this ring now and I check what is happening in this ring, you can see that this ring has about 5,000 soul in it. And if I click on this ring, you can see that this ring has just less than a soul basically. So that is the reason why this ring is way bigger than this ring. And if I click on the line to know what is going on, you can see that 100 soul was transferred from this ring to this ring. This is the sender, this is the receiver, and this is the transaction hash. I can copy it and take it to SoulScan. So as you can see it on SoulScan, this is it basically. From this address to this address for 100 soul. So So now I'm going to go and use the third example for our demo, which is the domain name. So when I click on here and I paste in my domain name, so I pasted this domain name here and I click on search. So Hindsight is able to fetch the address that is linked with this particular user. As you can see, like I said, this is the overview page that shows you what is going on in this address. So this address has about 0.038, has about one ERC20 token that is holding. By default, Hindsight shows you the last 10 transactions. So you can choose to see more transactions, or you can choose to see less transaction, anyhow you want it. So we also have all these to make the graph less intimidating for you. You can choose to filter by just coins, and you can choose to filter by just token. You can choose to time travel. You want to see what this graph looked like a month ago. You want to see what it looks like 3 months ago, 6 months ago. You can do that. You can filter by dates, and you want to see, okay, what happened between July 1st to July 12th. You get that. And you can also filter by transaction amount basically. But what I want to show you in this video is one of the key feature of Hindsight, which is shape mode. Now when I click on shape mode, Hindsight automatically categorizes these addresses into different types. And now what do you see here? You see that of these addresses, two of these addresses have been converted into a square. And what does that mean in Hindsight? It means that this address have interacted with two contracts. So these are two different contracts, right? So in Hindsight, a square represents a staking contract or an ICO. A staking contract or an ICO. So now in order for you to stake your token, you definitely have to interact with an ICO because you have to do a set approval. So let's see what is happening here. So when I click on this line to know what is going on, I can see that about 30,000 Radar token was sent to this staking address, was staked in this staking address. And when I come here, I can see 08. So as of the time when I'm making the video, this is what Hindsight UI looks like. And I'm very sure that when you are checking Hindsight, the UI is a little bit different because we are trying to make it more user friendly where you can differentiate between the two contracts. So now this is showing 08 because this is the set approval. And what does set approval means? So if you're familiar with the blockchain, the approve function is basically you granting permission to another address, which is in this case and most often a smart contract, to spend a specified amount of tokens on your behalf. Now, spend in this context simply means to transfer tokens from the token's owner address, meaning this address, to another address. So in this example here, this approval is giving permission to this staking contract to take tokens from here. Let me explain that again. In this example, this set approval is giving access, is giving permission to this contract to receive token, which is this 30,000 Radar token. It's giving it permission to receive tokens from this address for the sake of staking. So now these are not the only shape you can come across with. You can also come across an exchange, you can come across a validator or a miner, and we have different shapes we use to represent different entities on the blockchain. And aside visualizing transaction, Hindsight can also visualize NFTs, we can visualize tokens. So we are constantly evolving, and in the next 6 to 12 months, we aim to integrate more network and improve our user interface and user experience. So thank you for taking the time to learn about Hindsight VIP, and you can visit our website hindsight.vip to learn more and get started today.